Hey everybody, this is the Eagle here with the Democratic candidate for District 14 in the Texas House of Representatives, Fred Medina. Fred, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Good morning. Good to be here.
Thank you for joining us. We're a few weeks out from the election. How are you feeling?
I actually don't know how I'm feeling. I'm feeling good. I've been to a first few Fridays there. First Fridays there downtown Bryan. I've done some block walking, talked to some really good people, and I feel good about the main issue that I'm running on.
Yeah,
is getting a lot of traction, and that's what I think is going to sway the election in my favor.
What is the main issue you're running on this year, if you don't mind me asking?
Greg Abbott's school voucher scam.
Tell me a little bit about your stance on it.
I'm on public money. I'll give you my spiel. Public money belongs in public schools. If I'm elected, I will make sure that one thin dime goes to any private school voucher program. As it stands right now, I'm not, because what they're implementing now doesn't work. It hasn't worked in Arizona. It hasn't worked in Nebraska. They're trying to repeal it. It doesn't work in Ohio. And when I say it doesn't work, what happens is there's been no study showing any academic improvement for the children, and the cost overruns are astronomical. And for a whole host of reasons, it's a bad program. And I can go into a lot of details if you want, but anyway, everyone I've talked to, I mean, it should tell you something, because I have a T-shirt that I wear around for First Fridays that says "No Vouchers." And it should tell you something when a MAGA hat wearing person taps me on the shoulder and says, "I don't like them vouchers either." It's a bipartisan issue, 100%. And for Greg Abbott to be playing politics with our children and their education is just completely wrong.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be doing that, which is exactly what he did. And just FYI, and I'm pretty sure you know this, and most of the people out there know this, I'm following what John Rainey, our former House rep in this district, voted against. I'm following his edicts, and I don't know why he decided to not run this term. But I know a lot. Greg Abbott primaried a lot of people who voted, who he could not strong arm to get this thing forced through the legislature.
So with that school vouchers, also, what are some other areas that you are looking at that if you get elected would be some of your legislative goals?
Well, one of the issues is not sexy, or is not very popular, but starting to get some traction, is water. Water is very critical to this state, agriculturally and for our own consumption. And our agricultural commissioner just stated Texas doesn't have enough water. We have to look at how we are conserving water, how we're using water, and we're going to have to. What legislation I would pass or try to pass? The answer to that is I would have to work with other people, people smarter than me who know about conservation, find out what the best way to solve that issue is, and work with all parties on that, because this is another bipartisan issue. We all need water, and and I don't want to get. The worst thing I think we can do is get into a fight about, well, who owns the aquifer, who has this, what corporation has this. That's not how you're going to solve the problem. And we as Texans, and I think our administration, this shouldn't have been a surprise. And our leadership in Austin has pretty much kicked the can down the road on so many issues, and this is one of them. And now here we are, where Sid Miller says we just don't have enough water. How could you not know that this was coming? All the indicators were we're using more water. Population is growing. People are coming here to Texas for jobs, for the environment, for the economy. You name it, they're coming here. How did you not know this was coming? It's very frustrating.
So as you look at, like you said, this is something they've kind of kicked down the road, and like with Texas, it's been kind of Republican run for 30 years, and as a Democrat in a state that's been run for so long by the Republicans, what kind of a challenge does that present when you're running and going into these places?
Well, what I've been pointing out to people, and I'm glad you said that. I remember that I was back in this. I think it all stems from a little history lesson. We all know 1994 was the big Republican revolution, and what we're seeing up to today is that revolution continuing. There's been, not in Texas, but in other parts of the country, there have been, spurts, if you will, where Democrats were in charge of either a state house or a governorship or, what have you. But for the most part, what we're seeing in Texas and in most of the country is Republicans being in charge for a host of reasons. One, traditionally a state's been Republican, or traditionally a state's been, old school conservatism, because what we have now does not reflect any kind of conservatism that would be recognized by anybody back then. So there's that. Yeah. So, and I think what I'm getting a lot of traction on, and as much as people are saying we're divided, I have actually approached people who, and I tell them I'm a Democrat. Or if they ask me, I tell them I'm a Democrat. Yeah. And they're wearing MAGA hats, or they're wearing Trump signs, or and I've been able to talk to them about the issue of school vouchers, and who I am and what I'm about. So I want to, if you look at Twitter and Facebook, it looks like we're all at war with each other. That's not been my experience, and I have actually gone out and talked to people. We're not as divided, and maybe that's getting away from your question there. But I mean, but one of the things I point out to people is, if you're not happy with the things that have been run in the state of Texas, don't look over here. We haven't been in charge of things in a long time. But I would like to congratulate the House Speaker, Mr. Phelan, because he has actually done. He will appoint Democrats to committees and things like that, and that's one of the things that this new regime of Republicans, led by the loud voices of the Tea Party people, because they're still here, and they're not as big as they were, but they're a minority voice, I'd like to say, but they're still a loud voice, and they're the squeaky wheel gets the grease, as they used to say. But to Phelan's credit, that's a bipartisan thing. Yeah. So we need people like that who can still talk to each other and not look at each other as the enemy. Yeah.
So you're local. You graduated from Bryan High School.
Oh, I'm a Bryan Viking.
You were in the Army.
I'm a veteran.
You field artillery. And what to you, from your life experience, what does service mean to you, whether it's in the Army or if you were elected as representative?
Well, I mean, like I said before, I'm a lifelong resident of Brazos County. I've cut my teeth here. I was born and raised in West Bryan. I was, like you said, I'm a veteran of the U.S. Army, field artillery. And I was also a member of the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. Oh. I was in the union, and I know what the strengths of a union are. I mean, unions, much to the chagrin of people on the other side, unions built the middle class. The stronger the unions are, the stronger the middle class is. That's a fact. And I'm a proud member of the Teamsters. Yeah. And I'm still a proud member of the Teamsters. Yeah. What was your question?
Just what service means to you.
Well, I'm an Aggie too.
Yeah.
And what with Aggies come is selfless service. And the thing is, I want to serve. And there's a lot of reasons I wanted to serve. I did run for office here in Brazos County 2016 for county attorney against my very, very good friend, and continues to be my good friend, Earl Gray, and who's, in my opinion, has been a fantastic county attorney. And I think that's part of the. I just want to serve people. I want to listen to the people. I don't have the thousands of dollars and the $5,000 plate dinners that my opponent has been, and nothing's wrong with that. Good for him. Yeah, it's easy if he can get that money. More power to him. But, and I don't know how much corporate dollars he's getting, if any. But I do know there's some PACs ready to, if they see that this race is getting closer, there's a danger he might lose. They're ready to run ads against me that I'm the next coming of whatever evil's out there. But I will not. The only thing I can tell the citizens of Brazos County in District 14 is I will listen to them. I'll work hard every day for them. And they meet biennially in Austin, but I'll be the first one in the office, and I'll be the last one to leave. I will listen to the people, and I will not be swayed by corporate interests ever. As a matter of fact, I will never take a corporate dollar.
Well, I think that's a good spot to leave it today. Thank you. I know you're busy campaigning, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come visit
Can we
with us.
talk about maybe one more thing?
Yeah,
Or
we got.
busy?
Yeah, we
one of
got
the-
time.
I
Go
want
ahead.
to, and people need to. The school voucher program is the main reason I'm running.
Mm-hmm.
There's a host of other reasons I'm running, and if we had more time, I'd get into that. But the vouchers is just 100% is at the top of my list.
98%.
90, I'd say 98%, or 51. Let's put it that way. And what Greg Abbott did should really anger our community. And if you have children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, I mean, when he didn't get his way to just basically say, I'm going to hold money hostage, it should have gone to teachers and other faculty and other school districts in general. For him to just take the ball and run the way he did was extremely cowardice. I'll call it what it is.
Okay.
And I hate and it's not a coincidence that he took $6 million from a Pennsylvania billionaire. And at that point, he sold his soul to that billionaire, because how do we know that? Not only when he didn't get his way, he kept the money that should have gone to school districts. He also primaried people, good politicians, I would say, some of them, who were of his own party, and he got rid of them.
Yeah.
And you do the math. He got $6 million. Why do you think? What was his impetus for primarying those people? That's our children are not to be played with like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.